And as today is March 8th, we have Anita in the studio to talk to us about International Women's Day. Anita, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So, Anita, I think most of our listeners have a bit of an idea about International Women's Day, but can you tell us, when did it start?
Well, the beginnings go all the way back to 1909, where a National Women's Day was held in New York City. The day was suggested by Teresa Malkiel, who came to New York from Russia and went to work in a factory at the age of 17. She was a strong supporter of the women's rights and workers in general at a time when it was much more difficult to do so than it is today. She spoke out strongly against the racism that she found in the southern states and once stood in the rain giving a speech to a large group of African Americans, as they were not allowed to enter the local meeting hall. She also strongly encouraged adult education for immigrant women, starting classes and a summer camp which helped them with the skills they needed and helped them to become American citizens. So she was very much a strong voice, not only for women, but for everyone.
Fascinating. So how is that work continuing today?
Essentially, the celebration has progressed throughout the years to include many areas which negatively affect women, such as working conditions, health, education, and the environment.
How are these issues connected to women?
Well, for example, working women are still paid less and are much less likely to be in a position of power than men. In many countries, such as the United States, for example, working women are given hardly any time off to give birth and are expected to be back at work very soon after they have had their child. However, fathers are often given no or very little time off to help, so the responsibility for the child always falls to the mother. This also negatively affects the child, as they are less likely to form a strong relationship with their father if he is out working all the time. It's even more difficult for single mothers, who are very often seen in a negative way in societies all around the world, and have the responsibilities of working and looking after their children.
What about health and education?
We still have a lot of progress to make in the world of women's health, and this is connected to the workplace. It's very often male doctors, health officials, and politicians making decisions about women's bodies. Women in many areas around the world also have less access to education, with some countries banning the education of females altogether and expecting them to work in the home. Without education, women are powerless to express themselves and to contribute to society. In that, we all lose. If the millions of women who don't have access to education did, just imagine what the benefits could be as a human race.
So is this just about women?
In a way, it's about all of us. It's important to remember that women's rights are human rights. Some people think the celebration is against men, but this is incorrect. Studies show that in societies where women are treated more equally, everyone benefits, including men. We want to celebrate the achievements of women, and there are many, as well as increase awareness of bias against women. In fact, our slogan this year is "Break the Bias." You may well have seen it used on social media, and it's also traditional for people celebrating to wear purple on this day, to honour and respect women.
Thank you so much, Anita, for talking to us today. Now we're going to go over to our listeners to hear about what International Women's Day means to them. Our first caller is...